This is Stop Killing Deals, How to Avoid Deadly Assumptions and Achieve Sales Excellence by George Brontén, read by the author.
Foreword by Jason Jordan, read by Dennis Michael. As I've made my way through a long and varied career in sales, I've observed that there are at least 4 types of people in sales forces. First, there are the folks who shun any type of rigor or discipline. These are the gunslinging soloists who intend to succeed based on their innate skill or personality. To these performance artists, there is nothing more offensive than the notion of adhering to a rigid sales process. Sales processes feel like heavyweights strapped to their ankles, slowing them to a crawl. These people succeed or fail on their own merits, often very quickly. Then there are the salespeople who are attracted to discipline. They like that there are best practices in sales, and they work to learn and perfect them. They gladly use processes, technology, and other sales enablers. They like sales training, and they like to be coached. And throughout their careers, their capability and performance steadily improve as they deliberately add to their skill set. They are solid performers and the backbone of any professional sales force. Next are the innovators. These are the sellers and sales leaders who have mastered the best practices and strive to improve them. They constantly tinker with the processes and technology in order to make them more efficient and effective. They push high-flying sales forces even higher through an obsession with observation, measurement, and continuous improvement. Perhaps they end up at the top of the sales org chart, or perhaps they find their way into sales operations or consulting. They are the experts in all things sales. Then there are the rarest of creatures in sales, the people who, for whatever reason, have a transcendent vision. Of course they understand the processes, the technology, the coaching, the metrics, but they view them from the outside, not from within. They see them as pieces of a larger mosaic, and they judge them with critical eyes. They appreciate both the beauty and the absurdity of how sales forces operate, and they are deft at putting things into perspective. They are the thought leaders who ultimately push the profession forward. When I first encountered George, I suspected he was one of these rarities. I found his writing to be insightful and his ideas refreshing. When I later met him, I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation and look forward to the next. Since then, I've come to know him as a true thought leader and a genuinely good guy. George is the kind of person who could write a book that would make seasoned sales professionals stop and think. And now he has done just that. The book you hold in your hands is unlike most before it. It is not a deep dive into sales methodology or technique. Rather, it's a guided journey to the outside of sales, and then a discerning look back in. It's a holistic...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?